Hey Tina, hope your trip went well. I'm going to teach you how to select a lion out of an image because I know that's what you wanted to mostly use the selection tool for. This is something that I couldn't show you when I was at your house because you didn't have the version of Photoshop that supports this. But what you are able to do is go to select and then select and mask. And this is the tool that's going to allow us to select the lion and select the hair around this edge and then not select the background. So we can use just the lion in PowerPoints or copy and paste it into other photos or whatever you want to do with it. First of all, this is the view up here. You can choose how you want to see this. I'm just going to select a little bit of the lion here. So I'm just using my little basic select brush and adding to my selection with the plus sign and selecting most of the line here. If you need to zoom in, you can do Command plus on a Mac. If you want to make your brush bigger or smaller, you can use the bracket keys on your keyboard. Bigger, smaller, makes it a little bit easier. And you can just go selectively around the line here and just select everything. It's okay if you select more than what you need because we can go back and subtract that. Go in here. Tail. And anything that we grab that's too much we can clean up. So I grabbed a little bit above his head and on his tail, so I'm going to go up to the subtract sign and just tell Photoshop, no, I don't want that part. Thanks, but no thanks. And then up here, above his head, just wait for my computer to catch up. Keep going. I think it's thinking about it because it's trying to screen capture at the same time. Oh no, it's because I selected that too. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so let's deselect this, and I think I accidentally took away some of this section here, so I'm going to add it back. Okay. And then once you have it to pretty much where you want it, you can look at the hair on the outside of whatever animal or person that you're working with, and you can go to the hair tool here. And this thing selects individual pieces of hair, so you can kind of drag your brush over the edge of the hair here, and it'll detect where the edges of the hair are, so you don't have to go through and select every single piece of hair like you used to have to do in Photoshop. Do that there, and on the tail here. Cool. And then I'm just going to clean up a couple little pieces that I see here. And I'm going to subtract this little bit. Okay. So on the side here, like I said, the view is how you want to see it. If you wanted to see it on white instead of red, you can do that. On black, on onion skin, this like transparent layer. I like the red because it makes it really clear what you're getting and what you're not. This is showing you the end product when you export it onto a new layer if you just want to see what you have selected. So going back to here, I don't mess with any of these settings. This is all just default, so you don't have to do anything here. The only thing that you want to select is where you want the lion to go after you click OK. I usually put it on a new layer. What you can do is put it on a new document if you want just the lion and you don't care about the background. For this one, let's just do new layer. I do remember settings. And we'll go back, and I've got just my lion. And we can clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to go to my eraser tool and erase just some of the bits that I didn't really want. And I could have, done this in that tool, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to do a quick cleanup here. And again, for the size of the brush, you can use the bracket tools, up, down, and I'm going to zoom in. You can see that the brush is pretty soft on the outside, so it takes like that, kind of a really soft selection. If you don't want it to do that, you can increase the hardness of the brush itself. And you can see that it takes a really hard brush away from that. I usually use a soft brush just because that's what I usually need, but sometimes the hard brush is easier to get an edge. All right, cool. So let's put, okay, over here is the lion on its specific background. So that's the background layer, and this is just the lion. If you wanted to save this as just a file that you can use in like PowerPoints of just the lion, you can go up and save as a PNG file. And that is down here, and that will preserve the transparency of the background so that you're only saving the lion. But if you wanted to save it with this, you could also do that too. Okay, so let me show you something else. I'm just going to delete our lion layer to make this easier. Liquefy is something that I showed you pretty briefly, but it's what you can do to move things around. You can, make things skinnier, make things bigger. This tool up here is just the push tool, so you're just pushing things, but you can do, you can make the lines skinnier like this. This is how they edit people for magazine covers and make them svelte. That's the shrink tool. You can do the bloat tool, and you can make them look like he had a nice lunch. And what else? Oh, the swirl tool. I mean, I don't know who uses this for what, but yeah, you can do that. Mostly what I use is the push tool here. I can't think of what you would need to use that for, but maybe, you'd want to make something bigger or smaller. I'll just click cancel there. That was the Liquefy tool, so you go to Filter, Liquefy. Another thing that I briefly showed you, I'm just zooming in by doing Command plus, is the Bandaid tool. So this is a little bit pixelated photo, but you go to the Bandaid tool and you can actually just click on these little pieces that you may not want in your final image. And that kind of cleans up the photo. Like say I didn't want that in there. So Bandaid is just fixing small blemishes. I don't know what I'm taking up, but you can do those. Clone tool is something that I showed you. Clone is where you hold down the Option key and you sample from a specific part of the image, and then you can actually clone that part of the image onto another part by clicking on another part here. So say you wanted to get rid of the, whatever's on his nose there, you can kind of clone some fur over it. You could also use the Bandaid tool for that, but the clone tool is a little bit more helpful for bigger areas. So say I wanted to maybe, clean up this area down here and make it look the same so it kind of keeps the focus on the line. I can clone the grass over on that side. And if you go to your history, you can go back and see what you did with any of the tools. I mean, you can go back to your original. You can see your progress, all of that stuff. Let's see, what else can I show you? Dodge is making things brighter. Burn is making things darker. And those are terms from film developing days. Text tool is pretty much just like Word. You drag, make a text box, and then you can use the controls up here. I think that's probably about it for that one. If you wanted to change the color of something, like say I wanted to change the color of this eyeball for whatever reason, I can select it, I can copy, put it on another layer, paste, and then I can go up to the color balance and I can change it to more blue. I can also go to hue saturation, and it's mostly yellow, so I can take the saturation out of that. I can change the hue, so it's green, red, blue, all of that stuff. So that's how to selectively change the color on something. And I think that's what I wanted to do to this lion. Oh, say, let's see, say you wanted to, I'm just going to delete that layer. I was talking about making the elephants, if they're male, female, by taking away the genitalia. So what you could do is clone stamp here and actually just clone over this, and it's not going to be very anatomically correct, but, and it's probably easier when you don't have like a full view of this, but you know, you could go in there and kind of clean that up too. Not like that makes it into a female lion, but you know, you get the idea. You could do it on an elephant or a baby elephant. Yeah, and I think that's probably all the skills I talked about, but if there's another one that you need, let me know and I'll make another quick video for you. Okay, talk to you soon.